With cases on the rise again in Michigan, the governor extends her emergency order while the arguments rage over everything from schools to wearing a mask. We'll talk about it with Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And ready or not, there's a primary election on the horizon. Are we ready or not? Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2020, and this is Flashpoint. Hi there, welcome to Flashpoint. I hope you're well this morning. I have not really needed my calendar much lately. There really aren't too many appointments for me to keep. No dinners with friends to keep track of. But I did happen to look at my calendar last week, and I realized that I was supposed to be in Milwaukee covering the Democratic National Convention. And then this coming Friday, we were supposed to be watching the opening ceremonies from Tokyo for the Summer Olympic Games. Nope and nope. The pandemic keeps churning, and rather than settling down for the summer, right now, it's surging. Governor Whitmer is worried, extending her emergency order even as there are several attempts to shut down her emergency powers. A ton of weight hangs on most every decision she makes right now, few as heavy as the decision on the start of the school year. Governor Whitmer is my guest today, and she'll join us here in just a moment. A little later on, we're also going to talk politics today. The primary election is just a little more than a week away, and it's gotten scarce little attention. We'll turn our attention to it coming up today on Flashpoint. I can't think of a time when the nation's governors have been under such intense focus. It's been the case in so many states, and that certainly includes our own. Very good to have with us again back on Flashpoint, Governor Whitmer joining us via Zoom. Governor, good to have you back on the program that you know so well and have been a part of for so long, but obviously now under very trying circumstances. You said this past week that we were arriving at a turning point. I'm wondering if you know where the breaking point becomes. Is there a number you're looking for, a percentage increase? Is there a moment where you say we now have to start moving backwards?
Yeah, so we're watching all sorts of numbers. We have seen our testing capacity dramatically increase. We're doing about 21,000 tests a day. We're watching our positivity of those tests, though, increase as well. And that's the concerning thing. We see that in all regions of the state. So this isn't something that is unique to one part of the state or another. This is what we're seeing all across Michigan. The thing about telling you precisely at what point we turn the dial is, you know, it's about increase, right? So 7 days, 14 days of sustained increase, how big those increases are, but also the context matters. So if we see 140 cases in Wayne County, for instance, but we have a nexus, they all came out of one house party or they all came out of one facility, then we can trace and isolate. But if those 140 cases have no nexus, that they are just randomized, that means that there's community spread. And so the context really matters. The numbers, of course, are important, and that's what, you know, it raises all the questions, and that's where the local public health does the important work of tracing. But without that context, we can't tell you for sure if it's community spread or if there's a nexus. And they're very different situations. If there's community spread, that is alarming, and that's when we look to perhaps taking a step back. As
we're watching some of these numbers jump, we are also watching people trying to make some very definitive plans for the school year, including, we just found out, of course, the High School Association saying that they're planning to go ahead with the full fall sports schedule for high schools. I'm wondering if that decision squares with you, given what you're watching happen.
Well, I think right now we know the word we're all going to have to embrace is nimble. The fact of the matter is our fortunes can change very quickly when it comes to COVID-19. This virus is still very present. It is still very contagious. It is still deadly. What we see happening in Florida could be Michigan if we all drop our guard. And that's why doubling down on masking up right now is important. Our actions today are going to tell us where we are in 55 days when our kids are supposed to be getting back into class. The first 55 days of COVID-19 in Michigan, we went from 0 cases to over 40,000. We had lost 4,000 people in that period of time. Yeah. And so between now and Labor Day, we can, you know, watch things grow exponentially and quickly rival Florida, which is a catastrophe. It's a catastrophe for their economy, for their healthcare. Their healthcare systems are under stress. Some of them may buckle because of this. Or we can do what we did before, which is push this curve down, get our arms around it, and lead the nation and get our kids back in school. And that's why masking up is one of the most important, simple acts each of us can take in hopes of getting our kids back in class and keeping our economy humming.
You've, of course, got a lot of bitterness on the other side. People are upset that you were they believe right now you're wielding too much unilateral power. Unlock Michigan, the campaign is trying a couple of different angles toward getting more forcing you to create more consensus in what you're doing. I have a feeling that the Gretchen Whitmer, who was the minority Senate leader, would have wanted to be more included in the plans that a governor was making, and might have been more in favor of the 1976 law, which demands that you go to the legislature to convince them that it's an emergency rather than the 1945 law under which you've been abiding thus far.
So the fact of the matter is, none of us has seen anything like this in our lifetimes.
True enough.
This is a 100-year pandemic that has ravaged our country. You know, this is something unlike anything any of us could have imagined. These are powers I've never wanted to use, and I certainly don't relish using them now. Each decision I make weighs heavily on me. One of the things that I know in talking to my fellow governors on both sides of the aisle is we're all dealing with some version of the same kind of pressure, and we're all navigating it to the best of our abilities, and every one of us would just as soon never have to use any of these powers. But the fact of the matter is, with a virus that has grown this quickly, that has taken this many lives, it's incumbent on the nation's governors to step up and lead where there is a vacuum of leadership in Washington, D.C. Whether it is Larry Hogan, the Republican in Maryland, or me here in Michigan, or my neighbor to the south, Mike DeWine, Republican in Ohio, every one of us are doing what we can to save lives. And in doing that, we shorten the amount of time and the pain economically that we confront as states. This is a time where we've had to move quickly, make decisions based on the best science we have access to, because this is a virus for which there is still not a vaccine or a cure. This is a virus that can get out of control real quick. And if anyone's paying attention to what's going on in Florida, they've got people that are saying their governor didn't use powers that he should have, and people are dying because of it. I'd much rather be in the position we are in Michigan right now. Well,
I want to get this personal freedom battle that you're hearing so many people saying that boils down to things like the mask. What are you going to do as we now arrive at the primary and then looking ahead even to November if people want to show up at the polling place without a mask on?
Well, we're going to have to make sure that people have the ability to vote. That is absolutely critical. We're going to hope that people do so from home. You get your absentee ballot. You can go online, fill out the application online. You can check it for August and for November. And as soon as you get it, fill it out and send it right back in. Don't wait. But for those who show up in person, we want to keep them safe. And so recognizing the social distancing, asking that they mask up, ensuring that there is ample hand sanitizer available. We can do this. We can do this safely, but we always know that the safest place to be is at home. So vote from home is my strong encouragement to all of your viewers.
We know that the virus is now spreading a lot among young people, but we also know that the lion's share of the deaths have come among the elderly. And for a while there, a huge chunk of those were people in nursing homes. I'm wondering if now that you've had a little bit of time to look in the rearview mirror, if you have reconsidered or rethought the approach to putting patients with COVID into nursing homes. The comparison that I used with Dr. Caldoun a few weeks ago was this is a little bit like putting boa constrictors in the nursery with the babies because you didn't quite know what to do with them for a while. It seemed like the last place on the earth that you would want to introduce COVID was nursing homes. Was that the right decision?
So we never mandated that any nursing home take COVID patients. What we did do was say if they are returning residents to nursing homes, residents who had COVID, that they had to isolate them and build up a separate facility for them. And that was precisely what the CDC recommended. You know, if the novel virus, you go to the expertise, and the expertise is the CDC. So every step we took was informed by what they were saying was the best practice at the time. But at no point in time did we ever require require any nursing home to take a COVID patient back if they didn't believe that they were able to do so in a safe manner. This is, one of the challenges of a novel virus. It's been hard. I mean, it is a tragedy, any death from COVID-19, and yet we know that our experience is nowhere near as bad as a lot of other states, and so we are always going to move swiftly, make decisions based on the best medical information that we have, and do everything we can to keep people safe.
Lastly, Governor, my last question, because I know you've got to get to another call. As you and I are having this conversation, you've just announced a strengthening of your mask mandate. You want to explain what that is about and how you expect people to proceed with this new directive? Sure.
So right now, of course, we are at a turning point. Our numbers in the next 55 days could heat up and make us just like Florida, which is a catastrophe. A lot of people are going to die. I mean, the economy is going to be just absolutely busted in the state of Florida. Or we can do what we did before and mask up and push these numbers down and do so in a way that makes us the envy of 49 other states where our kids can get back in school. At this juncture, the trajectory that we're on is very concerning. It is more of the nature of seeing community spread, and that's why we've got to mask up now for the sake of our economy, but most importantly, for the sake of the health of our people and the ability to get our kids back in school safely, and our education workforce, keeping them safe as well.
But you felt this needed a sharpening then, or a little fiercer mandate on it?
Yeah, absolutely. We got to tighten up. We have to tighten up. We know what works. If every one of us does it, we're all going to be successful. It inures to all of our benefit. And so right now was the time to tighten up so we don't have to move backward. We may ultimately have to, but let's get our guard back up. I think spotty compliance has been what's contributing to our increasing numbers. So let's tighten up now and try to get this going in the right direction again.
Vital that we get it underhand. Governor, thank you so much for the time. Great to have you back on Flashpoint, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thanks, Devin.
You bet. We'll continue with more. We'll start turning our focus to the Michigan primary, now just a little more than a week away. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.